This is the 30 Days to Sell Cars podcast. In this episode, we are going to talk about how to dramatically increase the sales of your dealership from Conquest customers by focusing your marketing and your budget on non-intenders, people who are not yet considering the purchase of a vehicle. I know it's pretty controversial, but I know you'll love it. Hi, my name is Sean Casey, and I'm really happy that you're joining us today for the launch of the brand new podcast, 30 Days to Sell Cars. I feel very privileged to have you with me here today. I know your time is precious, and I also know that content is plentiful on the web today. So I want to honor your choice and give you straight to the point quality content you'll be able to use today to increase your overall business, whether it's on a personal level, as a salesperson, or as a dealership as a whole. My goal with the 30 Days to Sell Cars podcast is to inspire, educate, and equip you with some fresh ideas and powerful tactics to help you generate more leads, make more deals, and move more metal. Although the soul of the podcast will revolve a little bit more around the marketing strategies I've discovered and continue to discover every week to help dealers talk to more people, I know ambitious salespeople will find their home here in the podcast. I say this for two reasons. First, because I believe that great marketing should always be infused with tons of salesmanship. And two, because I believe great salespeople should always be marketing themselves. I don't think either one goes without the other. Yes, this is episode 1. And since we don't know each other yet, I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about myself, to help you decide if I'm worth your precious time and if I'm someone you should be taking advice from. I started selling when I was a really young boy. I'm the guy who would enter and win every selling challenge available. I would win each year the school's dreaded chocolate sales during the spring season and take over the calendar sales in falls with the Boy Scouts. You get the picture? When I was a teenager, I bought Zig Ziglar's Secret of Closing the Sale, which I read over and over again until the pages started to fall off, and so I had to start taping the book so it would hold together. It's at that point that I realized that selling was a real profession, and not just something you would do until you find a real job like my parents would tell me. So I decided to become a master at selling and spend the last 30 years getting my hands on every single piece of content relating even remotely to sales and marketing. I must have invested over the years probably over $200,000 in pursuing mastery. I've purchased almost every available seminar, online course, white paper, specialized book, high-end coaching, software, tools from all the greats and the not-so-great in the business. Before 1997, my sales experience was primarily from face-to-face with customers, and trust me, if we met on the sales floor, you were buying. On the marketing side, my expertise was in direct mail. I'd been gung-ho for years with the idea of turning my face-to-face ability to sell and extending my reach to thousands of people over the mail system. When the internet came to life, that was my Klondike. Suddenly, I could fuse together everything I had learned from sales and direct marketing and reach millions of people around the world. I never looked back. Since then, I had the privilege of helping over 1,500 different new car dealers sell more cars every single month in North America. Clients I worked with include dealers from almost every import and domestic manufacturer and range from small outfits moving a few hundred units a year to publicly traded dealer groups with over 60 rooftops coast to coast. I also had the opportunity of collaborating with big personalities like Josh Tobin, more known as the King of Cars in Las Vegas, which was moving hundreds of units every single month when I had the privilege of working with him. Now, when I was thinking about this part of the podcast, I wasn't sure if I was going to include what I'm about to share with you. I didn't want to come across somebody bragging, but then I thought how I am myself always very careful who I listen to and how I personally value learning from people who are walking the walk and doing the do's. So here's where the rubber meets the road, pun intended, and where you will probably find the proverbial proof is in the pudding. I've personally designed in the last few years over 1,800 automotive sales funnels and edited more than 2,500 YouTube automotive videos that helped car dealers and salespeople generate thousands of leads and literally millions of dollars in gross every single year. I'm right now the #1 pro designer of a publicly traded company with a $2.25 billion market cap. A company featured for the last 3 years as one of the main Super Bowl advertisers and with over, listen to this, 100 million websites designed on their platform in over 130 countries in the world. The funny thing is that I didn't actually even try to become #1. I didn't even think about it. And for years, I didn't even look at where I actually ranked in there. I just actually dug my feet and produced those sales funnel, and one day woke up and realized there was over 1,900 other pros in the world, and I was the actual number one. In the process, I was really blessed to make millions of dollars over the years through an automotive marketing company I started with my wife. We call this company Turbo Marketing. But unfortunately, it wasn't always fun and games. I also survived some really tough times, like the massive market crash of 2008 and 2009, when both GM and Chrysler went bankrupt, and we lost in the aftermath more than half of our clients because, more importantly, they had lost their franchise. Those were really tough times, both financially, obviously, and emotionally. It was hard to see our clients and friends in pain, tears in their eyes, seeing the work of generations slip through their fingers, while they could do nothing about it. As you can see, I'm no special guy, and my wife will confirm that if you ask her. Also, as you have probably noticed, I have a little French accent because the first language my parents taught me was French. Please don't hold it against me. But here's what I have going for me. I'm a really good student with an insane desire to learn more and hone my craft towards excellence, always pushing myself towards the next level, then to the next one, and then to the next one for my clients. I constantly remind myself that you have only 30 days to sell cars. Then it starts all over again. You can't rest on last month's success. So I can't be serving you old content and old tricks and remain relevant. So I dig deeper. And hard work always seemed to pay off. I think my real advantage, though, in life is the privilege I have of working with so many great dealers in so many markets, trying so many techniques, and learning so much from the different experience, both the success and the failures. I don't think I really wanted to be in this position and, share with you that stuff, but in another way, I feel just too blessed to keep it for myself, so here I am. It's the result of these real-life experiences that I want to share with you in this podcast. I want to bring you each time we meet the tactics that are helping our dealers move cars now. Not what used to work, but what's going to move the needle for you today. So this is who I am. I'm glad to meet you, and I would love to know more about who you are. You can do this by connecting with me on Facebook, on our page called 30 Days to Sell Cars, where you'll find other like-minded individuals committed to their success who desire to chase greatness and in the process hope to taste excellence. Make sure to like the page so we can engage with you and get your feedback on the show. Now that the introductions are done, I'd like to leave you with a little something to think about until the next show. It's one of the main pillars of my approach to automotive marketing. It's a concept that is guaranteed to shift your mindset and the way you look at your job. A concept you might even find quite controversial. Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay, here it is. Well, just before, let me give the credit and introduce you to the people that have actually introduced me to this concept. Their names are Jimmy V and Travis Miller. They wrote a book called Gravitational Marketing, an incredible book written a few years ago, but still so relevant, probably even more relevant today than it was when they wrote it. Two great guys. I had the privilege of having them here at the office and at our house. Great individuals. You can actually still get the book very easily, probably on Amazon, and you can connect with the guys if you go to richdealers.com. So here's the concept. While the vast majority of car dealers like to target and invest their advertising budget towards intenders, or the 7 to 9% of people that are in market for their next vehicle, I like to focus my efforts on the other 92% of the population that are not currently seeking to change their vehicle. Yes, you heard me correctly. I didn't mix things up. I like to focus my efforts and the marketing dollars of my clients on people who are not looking to change their vehicle. And this is what you should also be doing. Sounds ludicrous? Well, let me explain. The car business is the most beautiful business in the world. And here's why. Everybody 18 to 88 would change their vehicle today for something bigger, better, faster, more fuel efficient, for something with more luxury, more technology, more cargo space, or simply to drive the latest model to satisfy an urge or to make their neighbors, family members, or co-workers a little jealous. But they think they can't. And that's why they're not actively in the market. Now, non-intenders think they can't be in market because of a combination of one or a few of these 5 major misperceptions. The first one is price. They think it's not the right time to get the best price. The second one is payment. They think the payment will not fit in their budget. The third is cash. They think too much cash might be required to complete the transaction. The fourth is trade. They think they won't get enough for their trade, maybe because they're backwards or just because they would prefer to get a little bit more. And the last one is credit. They think credit worthiness might be an issue. Now here's the key. If you create marketing and provide salesmanship that answers these 5 wrongful perception, these 5 misperception, these non-intenders will move in market faster than you can blink. And it works with all media. Now there's also a kicker. These new prospects have not yet spent the last 3 months educating themselves on the internet, shopping around, comparing prices, payments, interest rate, incentives. They're fresh into the shopping cycle. They're looking for a solution to the automotive problem they've been hoping to solve, but thought they couldn't. And you get the first kick at the can. On a little bit more technical side, going after non-intenders is insanely cheaper than going after people in market for a vehicle. Instead of the $2, $3, $4, or even $5 per click you might have to pay for first page bids for intenders, you can reach the other 92% of the population for pennies. I'm talking like 6-7 cents. Now, I just printed a little list of some of the first page bids. This is from the Windsor, Detroit area. If you wanted to be on the first page of Google for Toyota, you'd need to pay $3.43. For vehicle, you'd need to pay $4.13. For a vehicle like the Malibu, $4.04. For a Jeep, $2.39. Now think about that. You can actually go after the same keywords, but focusing on non-intenders and pay only 6 to 7 cents. Imagine how much more you can do with your money. And the reason is simply competition for the keywords, placement and interest. While every manufacturer, new and used car dealer, portal, automotive blogger are bidding for keywords relating to intenders, driving prices up, you'll be alone bidding to reach everybody else in town for peanuts. That's you taking advantage of the red ocean, blue ocean strategy, where instead of competing in an existing market space having to beat the competition, you create an uncontested market space and make the competition irrelevant. Now, I can't stress enough the importance of what I'm about to say. You can't use the same marketing with non-intenders as you would use with intenders. If you do, you will fail. Guaranteed recipe for failure. You have to remember that these people are still under the impression that they can't be in market for a vehicle. So your marketing needs to first address the 5 wrongful perceptions, which are, as we've learned, price, payment, cash, trade, and credit. I know this might sound very unnatural for you. Every cell in your body and every fiber in your bones is going to tell you, go back to what you know. Go back to the marketing that you know has moved metal for you over the years. But I'm telling you again, it won't work. You have to trust me on this one. If you want to market to non-intenders, you're going to have to create totally different marketing. And just to make you feel a little bit more comfortable about going into the opposite direction of what you've always done or what people in the industry are doing, I wanted to read you a little excerpt from a book from Dan Kennedy, one of probably the best direct response marketer in the world. And it's from his book called No BS, Direct Marketing, the ultimate no-holds-barred, kick-butt, take-no-prisoners direct marketing for non-direct marketing businesses. It's right at the beginning of the book on page 8. And I want to read you that little excerpt just to make you feel comfortable about going in the opposite direction. So here it is. The reason for the cluelessness and the vulnerability to victimizations are many. Here's the big one. Marketing incest. When you got into whatever business you're in, you probably looked around at what everybody else in the business was doing and copied it. Gradually, you've tried to do it better, but not radically different, just better. So you have everybody in an industry standing in a circle, looking inward at each other, ignoring anyone or anything outside the circle. It's incestuous. And it works just like real generational incest. Everybody slowly gets dumber and dumber and dumber. All of the people you will meet in this book did something very different. They turned their backs on the circle and deliberately went far afield from their peers in search of different, not just incrementally better, but different ways of marketing. Now you will too. And if you follow reading the rest of the book, you'll notice that the people that actually went into the opposite direction have done really, really well for themselves. So this is my invitation for you this week. Don't be scared of going into the opposite direction. You're going to reap exceedingly great rewards. Now, to get back to a statement I made before I read you the excerpt from Dan Kennedy, it's really important that I emphasize again here that you can't use the same marketing with non-intenders that you're using right now with in-market vehicle shoppers. It won't work. Remember that these people are still under the impression that they can't be in market. Your marketing needs to address the 5 misperceptions first. They are price, payment, cash, trade, and credit. Now, if you would like to see an example of the marketing I like to use for non-intenders and how I tackle price, payment, cash, trade, and credit, and leverage non-intenders, make sure to watch some of the examples I have created over the years. I'll make sure to leave the link to a few of these examples in the podcast notes so you can find them easily. I've also created a quick video to show you one of my favorite techniques to reach non-intenders and turn them into hungry buyers. I'll make sure to also leave the link to that video in the show's note and on 30daystosellcars.com. Well, it was a pleasure to have you over. I hope you enjoyed this first episode and that you will be back for more. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Google Play so you don't miss the next strategies I want to share with you. Make sure to also leave me a few comments. I'm making this show for you, and without your input, I can't make any improvements. In the next episode, I want to talk to you about using video to bring salesmanship where vehicle shoppers are educating themselves about their next vehicle purchase and a very important concept called framing. You're not going to want to miss that show, I promise. Video is probably the most powerful tool available right now to any dealership or any salesperson to help them sell more cars. And framing is the secret weapon. I hope I catch you on the next podcast. Until then, I wish you a great week. Remember that we only have 30 days to sell cars when the month starts. And we probably have less than that if you look at your calendar now. So like I love to say, let's sell some cars.